on the eastern seaboard. You were talking throughout that woman's entire presentation. Let's go talk about how we listen.
When someone listens effectively to a speaker, they give them their undivided attention. Also, when listening, one may be able to understand the speaker rather than making and developing assumptions of the speaker or the speech itself. Becoming an effective speaker is a lifetime endeavor. Expanding listening ability is also an ongoing task that every listener must be prepared to do. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Vincent de Montbrion, and I am here to talk about listening. So what is listening? Well, listening is the active process of making meaning out of another person's message, maybe the speaker's message. It's an active process and it's not automatic. But what is effective listening? Well, it's listening with a conscious and explicit goal of understanding of what the speaker is attempting to communicate. You might be able to hear them, but that doesn't mean that you can understand them. And this goes with the different styles of listening. Each person listens with a particular style, and that style influences what we hear and what we make meaning out of. For example, there's people-oriented style, which emphasizes concern for other people's emotions and interests. Action-oriented style emphasizes organization and precision. Content-oriented style emphasizes intellectual challenges, likes to have details and thinks things through. A time-oriented style is efficiency. That style, people prefer conversations to be quick and to the point. So whatever the primary listening style, you have to adapt to the different styles for different situations. So what makes an effective listener? Well, we'll divide this up into 5 different elements, with the first element being, pay attention. Look at the speaker directly, put aside anything that's distracting, such as distracting thoughts, and try to remove any type of environmental factors, like turning off your cell phone. Show that you are listening is the second element, with nodding of the head, smile, facial expressions, have your posture opened up to show that you are inviting that speaker. Element number 3 would be providing feedback, asking questions to clarify, certain points, and you summarize their comments, the speaker's comments, periodically. The fourth element would be to defer your judgment. Basically, don't make any judgment until the speaker finishes. Let him finish his speech first. And don't interrupt with counter arguments. They might be sometime during the speech. With the fifth element is, respond appropriately. Be candid, open, and honest in your response. Give your opinions respectfully. Basically, just treat the speaker like you want to be treated, like normally in the world. So why is effective listening important? Well, it can dictate the outcome of many situations. Affects virtually every relationship we have, with our spouse especially, family members, and friends. And it creates understanding and it might change some perspectives that you have. Or think about when you were in college, if you were ever a full-time college student. Listening is the most common communication activity that we did. 50% of it was, during the waking hours, listening, 20% is speaking, 13% is usually reading, the other 12% is writing, which is actually, it seems like it would be higher, and the other 5% is just engaging in any other type of communication activity. And it's also vital in the workplace. And I'll give you an example. I'm a security officer in a big executive firm, and one of the things that we have to be certified in is CPR. Without listening to the class and to the instructor carefully, we wouldn't be able to perform the task or remember how to do the task. So some of the poor listening styles that we probably have done and behaviors that we've done is pseudo listening. We pretend to listen, especially if we're in that meeting and we don't want to be there, and it's pretty much the same thing over and over, or something like annually and you heard the same thing the previous years. So listen up. Listen to the speaker, whether you want to be there or not. Selective listening are the things that we think that are more important to us. So we just listen to certain points without listening to the entire message. Of course, one of the most common one is refusing to listen. We absolutely just don't want to be there. We're not listening. We're closed to everything. One that's not really common is listening to evaluate. And this is when we start listening to judge the correctness of the speaker's statements. We're being the teacher, or we're just making sure that we're listening to get the certain points. Such as a police officer. I've done interviews since I was 18 years old, active duty military, and as a security forces member, and I listen to the correctness of everybody's statements to see if they're lying. But when we're in a speech, we're supposed to engage fully. And this kind of leads to what we call stage hogging. And this is busy thinking about what you're going to say while trying to listen. We've probably all gone through defensive listening, which means you feel like someone's attacking you. They may say a certain phrase and you think, oh, he's directing this towards me, and we just quit paying attention altogether. And which may lead to what we call ambushing. And this is listening for any type of mistake that a speaker is making and trying to correct them on the spot. So how do we improve our listening? Well, first of all, take listening seriously. Become that active listener. Engage. Show that you're open. Distractions. Avoid all distractions. Whether it be internal distractions like you're hungry, thirsty, and you can solve these by eating a little something or gone to the bathroom prior to anybody speaking. Have a drink ready. Or external distractions like the cell phone. Make sure you turn your cell phones off. And don't be diverted by anybody's appearance. Don't pay attention so much to what they're wearing, but what they're saying. And leave all the judgments later. Wait till the speaker's finished. One important thing that I started doing is focusing on my listening. When you focus on your listening, you can realize that, I'm being distracted by these external factors, and then I start remembering, focus, listen to what's being said. And you might want to take some notes, especially during classes. Take effective, strong notes, and this actually helps you listen carefully. So, good listening skills are not something that we're born with, or it's really taught in any type of school. They're just the habits that we create, starting pretty much from your childhood, and we carry this on through our adulthood. So, and it does take a variety of skills to break the bad habits and develop good habits to becoming that effective listener. But most of all, it takes a lot of effort and a lot of practice.